Hey, what's up, you guys? Can you see me? Waiting for it to show up on my laptop. I can't tell if y'all can see me or not. Hello, can you see me? We're gonna wait a few minutes for more people to show up. So far, we have two. All right. Hello, everyone. It's weird. I'm seeing you here on my phone that I'm recording on, and also here on my laptop, which my laptop is a little delayed from where I actually am. So, do we have any questions? I'm here to answer any lizard questions. I have knowledge in geckos and bearded dragons and uromastyx, a little bit of iguana stuff, but those are generally the ones I know a lot about. Hi everyone, welcome to the stream. Hello. How are we doing today? How's everyone's Saturday? Hello everyone. Okay, that's awesome. What are you feeding your baby over there in the UK, Hannah? Okay, if you have a question, just type it out. Hello. I am doing great, Justin. I actually have two bearded dragons, one male and a female, and then I also have a Uromastyx and then a Halloween moon crab that isn't a lizard. That's awesome. I assume you have a bearded dragon, warrior, lizard, something? Okay. It says, at what age do I need to change my baby Beardy's diet? So that you put them on the adult dragon diet anywhere from 10 months to a year old. How often should I be feeding bugs to my Beardy? She's a little over a year. So with this, you feed them anywhere from 2 to 3 days during the week, and you feed them for 15-minute time frames. So, as many bugs as they can eat in that 15 minutes without gorging themselves and choking, of course. Hey, my bearded dragon is 8 months old, and she has been acting like she's gravid. Um, but she's only 15 inches long. She is digging and glass surfing excessively. Then I would make a lay bin, and I have a whole video on that and see if she'll dig. Sometimes you have to get their little paw or hand, whatever you want to call it, and like kind of start digging for them because sometimes they don't know to dig. So that's what I had to do with Belly. How often do I hold or spend time with my bearded dragon? So this one is really up to you. I would just kind of be a little consistent with it at least a couple times a week. You don't have to do it every day. I don't every day, but I at least pet them because I do work. So it depends on your schedule. Is it normal for a bearded dragon to go into brumation twice within a few months? Yes, they can go in and out of brumation. There's no consistent way to brumate. They just tend to at least once a year. Sometimes they will come out of brumation to drink water and eat and stuff, but I would recommend not feeding them directly when they come out of brumation because if they go back into brumation with food in their stomach, that can be very harmful to them and actually kill them. So be mindful of that. My bearded dragon doesn't care for it when I pick him up, and I don't know how to pick him up properly. I actually have a video on how to pick up and hold a bearded dragon that will help you on that. And I also have a bonding video as well that can help. I am the only one without a beardy. That's fine. You don't have to have a beardy. There are plenty of lizards. You don't even have to have a lizard. But thanks for joining the chat. It's still fun to, learn about lizards. I have a bearded dragon and I don't know how to tell its gender. I also have a video on this, how to sex your dragon. You lift up their tail and look for how many bumps they have on the back. At what age do they start laying eggs? Not all bearded dragons lay infertile eggs, meaning that they don't have babies inside of them. It's kind of a lizard period, quote unquote. So, not all female dragons lay eggs. Some of them don't lay infertile eggs. And usually this might start around a year. Sometimes it doesn't start until 3 years old or more. So it just depends on the dragon. Okay. Hi, Elle. How are you doing? Elle's Reptiles is in the chat. If you haven't checked out her channel, definitely check out her channel. She has amazing content and all these different beautiful, beautiful lizards. Far more lizards and creatures than I have. And I'm a little jealous, but I love all of them. And I'm gonna get to meet her soon in person. I'm so excited. Why does my bearded dragon like to be cold? Bearded dragons don't like to be cold. If your bearded dragon is hanging out in the cold side of the tank a lot, they can either be brumating or they could be sick. So I would definitely go and get a fecal, get them checked out if that is happening. Um, yeah, bearded dragons do not like to be cold, so that's not really a thing for them. It's one or the other, and I would highly, highly recommend bringing them to the vet. Da, da, da. So many questions. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone that's joining the chat. It's so great to have you all. Can a bearded dragon brumate for only 3 days? I would consider that a nap. My bearded dragons have actually done that this year. None of them have really brumated. My Uromassix has brumated on and off, but my bearded dragons haven't. They've slept for like 2 days max, or I think one was 4 days max for that. So I would consider that a nap, kind of going into brumation. But the thing about bearded dragons and other lizards that are in captivity, if your temps are warm and they aren't changing for the colder months, they don't really need to brumate. So it's really dependent on them. I wouldn't suggest putting them into brumation, and I also wouldn't suggest halting the brumation either. So just let them do what is natural for them. My Beardy isn't wanting to eat his veggies all of a sudden. He has been hiding a lot. So, back to brumation. That is likely what it is. Or before they even go into brumation, it is best to get them a vet checkup. If you are seeing the signs of brumation, which is them not eating as much, them sleeping a lot, hiding out on the cold side, or being in huts, you want to go get a fecal exam to make sure they don't have any parasites, because the signs are so similar that some people mistake it and they end up with a beardy that passes away because they thought it was brumation. So go bring them to the vet. Them not eating and slowing down is either them being sick, them shedding, or them going into brumation. I've had my dragon since December. He's 5 months old and he still runs and fidgets when I try to pick him up. Does this mean that he doesn't trust me? No. This sounds exactly like my boy Aether. Boy, is he a character. He's kind of really sassy. He doesn't like to be held that much. Sometimes he'll buck at me when he really doesn't want to be held, but when I have food, all of a sudden we're friends. So some bearded dragons just don't like to be held. It's just the luck of the draw. Whereas my female dragon, Nixie, she loves attention, loves hanging out, and gets upset when I put her back in the tank. So it's the luck of the draw. If that's happening to you, then I guess you have a bearded dragon that doesn't really like to be held. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just their personality. How do I get my Beardy to not be scared of me? Consistency and building trust. So I actually have a video on how to bond with your bearded dragon. There are plenty of tips in that video. Just go to my channel, go to the search bar, and then type in how to bond with your dragon. My beardy spike has been turning yellow and it's been happening around his eyes and spots on his head as well. He's 17 and I'm not sure if it's normal with age or if I should be worried. So that is either part of their natural coloring or that is a dermal issue called yellow fungus. So I I would definitely go to the vet if you aren't sure. You can send me pictures of it, but I'm not a vet. Um, and I can try to help you along the way. I can tell you if it looks like natural coloring a lot. Um, You can send it to my Instagram, my Facebook, or my Snapchat. Instagram and Snapchat, I am definitely more responsive on. Okay, going down. Hi, everyone. Should I get a baby or adult dragon? So, this is really up to you. Baby dragons require a lot more bugs, and adult dragons don't. And babies are also a bit more active than adult dragons. It's really up to you. I don't see why you should pick one over the other. Me, I have always had adult dragons. I have fed and worked with baby dragons, but I've never owned a baby dragon because it tends to be that people want the babies, they don't realize how to care for them. They give them up when they're full grown, and then there's all these rescue adult dragons that need help. And so all of my babies, as most of you know, are rescues, and I've just taken in adult dragons. Um, that's just how it's worked out. So it depends on what you want. Just be prepared for a longer dragon that quadruples in size from the baby. You're gonna need bigger equipment. If you go from baby to adult dragon, you're gonna have to upgrade. So if you're prepared for that, then get a baby dragon. If you aren't prepared for that, just go ahead and get the adult dragon. It's up to you. Are juveniles happy with being held? So it depends on the dragon. It depends how consistent you are with holding them. It depends on if you're nice to them. Like, for example, if you hold a baby and drop them, they're probably going to be scared of you. So it just depends on how you handle them, how often you handle them, and if you have bonded with them or not. So it just depends. How do I get my Beardy to eat veggies more often? I actually have a video on this, on how to get your Beardy to eat greens. That also includes veggies too. But dragons will tend to go for things that are colorful and exciting. So if you have a bowl with just colored greens in it, they're going to be less excited than if you have a bowl of colored greens with a little bit of radicchio that's red, if you don't know what that is, and it's something they can have. So you have the green and you have the purple red, and if you put in some diced strawberry or some pear or butternut squash, you have three different colors, and it's exciting, especially if you wiggle your finger in there, and it makes it move, and it's just like, wow, they get all excited for that, trust me. So they're going to be more excited with a salad that looks more enticing with colors and it moves, and it just depends. I'm actually going to do a video on colorful salads to entice your lizard or something along those lines. Haven't worked out the title yet, but I'm going to do a how to build an appetizing salad for bearded dragons later on. Might try to do that with Elle, actually. Let me know what you think of that for another collab video if you're still here. Can I feed hornworms multiple times a week if I adjust his dubia intake? Hornworms are a treat. They shouldn't be fed as a staple or anything like that. So the most hornworms I will feed within a week is two max because it is great for water content and it's a great treat for them to have. But I don't even give it to them until the summer, and it'll be about two a week, maybe, and that's not every week. So I would not recommend feeding multiple times a week because they're not really getting any nutrients. They're just getting a bunch of water. You're gonna have squirty poos, and it's just gonna be, it's just not beneficial for them. How do you tell if your Beardy has tail rot? Well, this is a pretty simple one. If you'll know when you see it, trust me. It looks like a dead tail. So a lot of bearded dragons have coloring that is dark on the end of their tail that is black, and that is not tail rot. What tail rot is basically a tail that becomes super skinny and starts to fall off and looks, well, dead. It's rotting. There's really no way to mistake it, honestly. You will know when you see it, and you can look on Google for tail rot and bearded dragons or other lizards. Trust me, you can't mistake it. Do, 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 do. That's awesome, Claire. Congrats on the new baby. If information, is it bad to take them out? Goliath will not poo in habitat, only outside now. So you shouldn't be taking you should not be disturbing them at all during brumation. The most you should be doing is checking on if they're breathing. And before they go into brumation, you should make sure that they have had a poo so they have nothing else in their system and don't feed them right before they go into brumation. And you should be fine. They're not eating while in brumation, like a full brumation. So you really shouldn't be doing that. Don't take them out of brumation. It's really stressful on them, um, and it does not help their health in any way. Yes, I will definitely be doing a dragon salad video. Yay! Elle wants to. So me and Elle will be doing a dragon salad video. We'll be like, what is it, reptile chef or some crap like that. I don't know. I haven't worked out on that title, but yay! I'm excited. My dragon will not eat her greens. Again, back to the colorful salads making it wiggle, and I have a whole video on how to get your bearded dragon to eat greens. So I would check that out. I went through a bunch of different methods on that. The only thing I forgot in that video was putting a little bit of bee pollen on the salad, but when I mentioned this the last time, a lot of people want to put it every day, and you really cannot be putting bee pollen on their salad every day because it can cause fatty liver disease. Don't do this. You'll end up with renal failure and a dead dragon if you feed it every day. Don't do it. But what you can do every day is get something like mango juice, like freshly crush a mango or something, put the juice on the salad, get them to lick it, and they will eat that salad. I've done this a few times. So all natural, pure fruit juice with no other additives or anything like that. I don't tend to trust pure fruit juice at the store, so I will just make it myself and sprinkle it on the salad, and they tend to really love that. But it also depends on what your dragon likes. So if you know your dragon loves a fruit or a vegetable or something like that, put it in the salad. They're definitely going to go for it. Hannah says, my dragon is super sassy. He loves his salad and water. He only drinks or eats out his bowl when I'm not looking at him. When he sees when he sees me watching, he stares for a second and goes back to his log. Yeah, my Nyx, it's hard to get footage of her eating or doing anything lizardy because she doesn't like when I watch her do things. Like she will just stare at me until I leave, and then I might come in right as I'm catching her eat, like mid-bite. So, I understand. My dragon eats his greens, but will refuse other veggies and fruits. Is fruit needed for health? So, adding fruit in their diet is important, but they don't need it every day. Like once a week with some fruit is fine. Um, and also, some bearded dragons don't like certain things. Like my Aether doesn't like mango, but he loves strawberries. And Nyx, well, she loves everything, so that's not a fair comparison. But it just depends on the dragon. Some of them love certain things that others don't. So, what else? Aether loves, what are they called? Sprouted lentils more than Nyx does. Nyx will eat a few, but she gets tired of it after one. So just find out what they like. In brumation, do you keep their lights on during the day? Yes, you are not changing their lighting schedule at all. It should remain the same. Um, they definitely need the heat as well because, I mean, yeah, they need the heat. So just keep the lighting schedule the same, and they'll come out eventually. So just be sure to get a vet checkup before they go into brumation. Do little beardies go into brumation? My little guy who weighs less than 100 grams has been hiding under his carpet and not eating for a couple of weeks. So, do you have a hut in there for them to hide under? Is it too hot? Dragons that have a carpet tend to hide under it if it is too hot in the tank. Make sure your temps aren't too high. It shouldn't be any higher than 110 degrees Fahrenheit. How often do you have the lights on? There's a lot of things that go into this. I can help you if you message me on Instagram or even Snapchat. I will respond on Facebook, but I will be quicker on the other two, so I would recommend going to Instagram or Snapchat to send me pictures, um, ask me questions that way so I can engage with you one on one. My Beardy smiles with her eyes. Have you seen this before? I'm not sure what you mean, but if you send me a picture on my social media, I might be able to answer that. No problem. I'm happy I can help. I found out that bearded dragons can see infrared lights. Mine freak out every time my robot vacuum is running because he's fine when I block his view when it's running, so it's not the noise. Yeah, infrared lights, a lot of people want to use that in their tanks and it's really not suggested. It is bad for their eyes, but when it comes to vacuums and stuff, I haven't seen that with my dragons. They just kind of looked at it and looked at me funny. But I will say, when I use my little handheld vacuum in the tank, they will just start to try to eat the tip of it. I'm gonna have to get a video of that. I have had my bearded dragon for over a month, and I have tried bonding with him, but he still hesitates or runs away when I try to pick him up. Any tips? Again, some dragons just don't like to be held. It's the luck of the draw. It just depends on the dragon. Um, I would definitely have a consistency so they can kind of expect when you're coming. Like, for example, if you have school or work or something, hold them before you leave and hold them when you get back, type of thing. If you don't work or do anything like that, pet them a few times a day, hold them. Just have a consistency so they're not like freaked out when you come to them at random and try to hold them. How can you tell if your beardy is information? They're not sleeping, eating, or really moving a lot. Or no. They are re take that back. They are sleeping. They're just not eating or moving a lot. So they sleep a lot. That's how you know they're information. I saw your video regarding feeding. They don't eat bugs every day. So with this, it depends on how old they are. Dragons that are below 10 months eat bugs daily. I mean, minus maybe 1 or 2 days during the weekend. It depends. But for adult dragons, you should only feed them 2 to 3 days a week. I feed mine 2 days a week with bugs because they don't need the protein like a baby dragon does. And once they're an adult, they don't process the protein very well. So you can end up with things like renal failure or fatty liver disease as well, depending on what bugs you're feeding them. So definitely only feed them the recommended amount, and because that will definitely lengthen their lifespan. And then you feed them salads and fruits and veggies the rest of the time. How can I feed an adult beardy that just passed an impacted poo? So I would start with maybe giving them a few slurries. And if you don't know how to create a slurry, I have a whole video on that as well. um, so basically, all a slurry is putting their daily diet in a smoothie type thing and mixing it with water and blending it up, including the bugs. So I would start with that so they don't have any hard, solid foods to work through their system. I've only had to deal with an impacted poo once, and I definitely fed a slurry afterwards just to make sure that she wasn't going to have any more issues. And her poo was a little liquidy, but it was better than having to deal with impaction. So I did that for like about 3 days or so after the impacted poo, and she was fine. So I would do that. Or just feeding soft foods. Do they react to loud noise? My baby doesn't even flinch or move when I put on my hair dryer and vacuum. It depends on the dragon. It really does. I will say that they don't like loud noise. Um, so they will kind of stare or just like stop moving because think about it, they're in a calm environment in your room or wherever they are. And if you have loud noises going on, or even if you take them outside, there's just so much going on that they're not used to, and it kind of freaks them out if they're. Not used to it. How long does brumation last? My boy has been hiding and sleeping for about a week or two now. He slept through the entire day yesterday. Brumation can last up to like 9 months. That is not for everyone. Usually in captivity, I would say the max is like 6 months, but it just depends on the dragon. There's no correct length of time to brumate, so it really depends on the dragon. My Nyx, the longest that she brumated was like 5 months. Um, yeah, so it really depends on the dragon. Boop, boop, boop. I just purchased a Repticare day slash night timer for my dragon, getting ready for a 1 week vacation away. How do I set these times? I actually have a video on how to set a reptile timer. You can go check that out. I don't know if it's the same brand that you have, but it should work the same. It depends if it's digital or not. Excuse me. If it's digital, I don't know how to set those, but if it's the physical ones where you have like the little tabs, I have a video on how to set it. What bugs do you recommend to feed them every day? So, with this, you should be feeding them a variety of bugs. You should not only be feeding your dragon one bug all the time, it's not beneficial for them. So, I will always mix up their bugs every week. So, they will get maybe two different types of bugs this week and then two different types of bugs the next week. So, I actually also have a video on what to feed your dragon. I list dozens of different bugs, veggies, fruits, greens, all of like just a whole long list of things that you can feed them. I also have the nutritional benefits of the bugs on there as well. So I would go look at that. I will say my favorites are dubias and black soldier fly larva. Black's it's BSFL, so this goes by a bunch of different names: Nutrigrub, phoenix worms. They're yeah, just black soldier fly larva. So it depends. I don't like crickets. Have not fed crickets in at least over a year and a half. Can't say I just don't like them. It depends on your dragon though. If you like crickets, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with feeding them. Can I handle my Beardy when I am sick? So, I have not found any actual factual evidence that humans pass anything on to dragons except for bacteria from other reptiles or lizards. So, as long as you're practicing proper hygiene after holding another lizard, then you'll be fine. I've never read of anything pertaining to humans passing human illnesses onto dragons. Um, if someone has any data on that, I would love to read some scientific sources, but otherwise, I would say you're fine. I have held my dragons when I was sick, and they have not gotten sick, so. My bearded dragon is hiding in his enclosure and won't let me touch him. I have had him since he was a baby and he is 1 year old now. How often have you been holding him? Have you had a consistency for getting him out, petting him, holding him, bonding? So there's a lot of different questions here. I can't really answer it without all of the other data. But if you contact me on my social media accounts, preferably Instagram or Snapchat, I can answer that for you. I have a question. I don't know if my bearded dragon is a girl or a boy. He does have two bumps on his butt, but he also has the girl butt also, so I'm confused. So you said just I would send pictures to my social media accounts. It also depends on how old they are. If they're below a year old, then you're not going to have a definitive sex. Okay. So, okay. All right, Brenda, I will get to that message after I'm done here. So, Rochelle, back to your question where you have the dragon that's in the cage and won't let you touch him. So, there's a lot of different factors that can go into this. I can't really answer it without pictures of setup, without what they're looking like, their diet, and all of that. It really depends on all of that to determine on why they are acting this way. Do they see their reflection in the glass? Is there another dragon in the room? Is there another animal that passes the tank? Are you wearing a certain color they don't like? Do you have a certain scent from another reptile on you? There's a lot of different things that go into it. So, even if they're shedding, they're probably not going to want to be held. They're real feisty when they are shedding. So, just send me pictures of the setup and all of that. When is the proper age to stop feeding your beardy crickets? This is a little, I'm not exactly sure what you're asking. So, dragons will always eat bugs. It just depends on when they when you lessen the amount of bugs that they're eating. But they're always going to eat bugs. You can't switch a dragon to only eating salads and stuff like that. It's not going to be beneficial for them. They're not going to get the nutrients they need to be, sustained. So you can stop feeding them crickets whenever, but you need to feed them other bugs. All right, one more question, and then I will have to go, but I will be on Instagram at 2 p.m. I think the way to tell a bearded gender is to shine a flashlight on it while it's dark and look under the tail. So, this one, there is a flashlight trick. That is one of the ways that you can tell the sex. Okay, so here's my last question from Kirsty. Ideas for a good travel tank or something similar. My kiddo wants to take her dragon to school to hang out in her classroom. Want to make sure it's comfy and warm. Um, are they the real question is the dragon going to be staying there for a day, or like is she moving around from class to class, or is this elementary school where it's going to be in one classroom and then you pick it up at the end of the day? Um, Otherwise, I wouldn't recommend like bringing the dragon in a loud environment when it's not used to it, because that would be very, very stressful for them. But if you are traveling with your dragon, I mean, just get a mini tank or just bring the 40-gallon. A lot of the times when I travel and go to hotels, I don't bring a tank, because my dragons are great with not, roaming or getting into that. I actually don't know about Aether. That's something I'm gonna have to figure out. But with Nixie and when I had Belly, I would just bring the lights and bring mounts for the lights. I would set it up on the area. I would have towels, and they would kind of be able to free roam for that 1 or 2 days, but they were still able to poo. The lighting and the temps were great. I would not recommend this for full-time use. They do need a tank, but for a short amount of time, the setup with the mount is just fine. Alrighty, you guys, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for being part of the live stream. I will be going on Instagram at 2 p.m. And if you are part of my bearded or my reptile lovers group on Facebook, which is Lizard Guru's Reptile Lovers group, then I will also be doing a video at 5 p.m. All of this is Eastern Standard Time. So thanks so much for watching. And as always, from my family to yours, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. Mwah! Have a happy Saturday! I need to figure out how to turn this off now. Alrighty, you guys. Bye.